Aloha friends, Aaron with Hawaii Music School here today, and I've got my ukulele, good cup of coffee, gonna be a good day. So, I had a few questions come in on the emails, and we'll go ahead and get to those right away. First question, Aloha Aaron, it's awesome that you answer questions on your YouTube channel. My question is, how do you know what songs to play with a low G as opposed to a high G and vice versa? Well, personally I just listen to the song. If it sounds better when I play it with a low G, I usually play it with a low G. If it sounds better if I play it with a high G, then I play it with the high G. But some songs, if you're trying to play it like the original artist, I would probably go with, like, for example, Over the Rainbow. He plays that with a low G. But you can play it with a high G. But if you want to play it like Israel, then you want to play it with the low G. Hi Aaron, my ukulele always played fine, but lately I've been having a buzzing sound on the low G. I keep it in the case when I'm not playing it, and I use a humidifier. Can you recommend anything to help? If it's buzzing on the low G, is it a wound low G or is it a non-wound low G? The first thing I would do, because it's always the cheapest solution, is to change the string. That's another thing too. How often should you change your strings, right? I try to change my strings pretty often. If you go for a long period of time without changing your strings, what happens is it's a piece of nylon and it's going, it's being stretched constantly. And the more we tune it, the more it stretches. So there gets to be thinner spots and thicker spots. And we're pressing it onto this metal fret. And it's creating these divots and it's moving the divots. So it's already getting unintonated. But what can happen is you can actually start to cause buzzing over time if you don't change your strings often enough. It could be, if it's a wound string, it could be like coming frayed and just buzzing on the fret. The first thing I would recommend doing is changing your strings. The second thing I would recommend doing, if that doesn't work, if it's still buzzing, go take it to see one of the guys in your local shop, preferably somebody that's worked on ukuleles before, and they'll know exactly what to do. Next question. I noticed that you play notes between chords when you play. Are those scales? If so, what scales? Play notes between chords when I play. That's an interesting thing because I do a lot of things subconsciously, I guess, that I don't know I'm doing. If I'm, if I'm playing that kind of thing, it's a lick. It's not necessarily, playing, I'm not doing... I'm not playing a scale in that way, but I am playing notes that come out of the scale. And it's usually whatever key I'm voiced in. If I'm playing a jazzier tune, then sometimes I will embellish that particular chord, and the scale will reflect the chord that I'm playing. If you hit me up again and tell me what video you're talking about, I can definitely answer your question as to what I'm playing. Okay, next question. Hi Aaron, I have a Blackbird tenor carbon fiber ukulele that I bought locally. It's great, but it doesn't sound as good as the Pono that Corey from the ukulele site sold me. Does it have to do with the wood? See, tone is subjective. The thing that I like about the Blackbird carbon fiber is that you can literally take it anywhere and not have to worry about the wood moving, temperature acclimating, or anything like that. I think they're fantastic for that. But you are right in the sense that it does not sound like wood. In the same sense, the carbon fiber guitars from Rainsong, as great as they are, they don't sound to my ear as good as a wood guitar. So it just depends on what it is that you're looking for. In terms of the carbon fiber, if I were to buy it, it wouldn't be expecting to have the best tone in the world. If I were to buy a carbon fiber ukulele, it's because it's indestructible and I can take it anywhere and I don't have to worry about leaving it in the trunk of the car and seeing if it's too hot or whatever. I'm pretty sure those things are built to take a smashing, and that's kind of like I beat up instruments, so I would probably get it for that purpose. If you're getting it for the purpose of tone, then I would say you're probably going to be disappointed because the Pono ukuleles are all wood construction. There's no laminate. They tend to sound really, really good, and especially the more recent ones, as they've been getting better every year, they revamp the models, and I found that every time the Kitakeses do a new Pono, it comes out better than the previous year. And that's saying something because they're consistently at the top of the peak for import ukuleles, in my personal opinion. Okay, next question. Hey Aaron, you always talk about the way you hold your ukulele. I can't play that way. Do you ever use a strap? And if so, what kind of strap? I mostly sit down when I play. So I'm doing this. I'm not one of those touring concert guys that go out and play. I've had gigs where I had to stand up, and what I'll do is I'll hold it like this. And you know when you pick, that kind of thing, I'll play like that. If I do have to use a strap though, I usually use this one right here. And I got this from the ukulele site when I used to work there. I got this and I used it for that one gig. Yeah, it's a good strap, and I don't even know who makes these things anymore. You know, not everybody holds the ukulele the way I do. Like I said in the other video, everybody holds it differently. You want to be comfortable when you play, and that's the main thing, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to play well. If money is no object, what ukulele is the best to buy? I feel like I've answered this before. I think the question was posed in another way. They asked, what is the best ukulele? Who makes the best ukulele or something like that? But I think this is in a different context. If money is no object, what is the best ukulele to buy? If it were me and I were trying to, get the most out of the ukulele, the best ukulele to buy, money no object, I'd probably go with a more better ukulele from Chuck Moore on the Big Island. And the reason is because, number one, it is a beautiful ukulele. It is, fantastic sounding. It plays like a dream. And it's a piece of art, man. The other thing is, what I found with the Chuck Moore ukuleles, more than anything else, they tend to hold their value. So if you ever had to get rid of it, you would probably come out okay on something like that, as opposed to getting another custom ukulele. Whenever you buy something made for you, it's harder to move in that sense. If you're gonna keep it, then pick your favorite brand, right? Like Ko'olau. But I would probably say the more better. Now, if you can get on his list, because he only builds a few a year, if you see them, you'll see why, because they're so intricate in the detail that he does on there. If you can get on the list, that would be the one to go. I wish I had your problem with money being no object. Okay, I wanted to answer one more thing. I had somebody ask me today if I was planning on doing a video on the playing style of Kelly Boy de Lima from Kapena. And Kelly was a huge influence on me growing up as well. Him and Troy were probably, at the time, the two most prominent ukulele players when I was growing up. And I listened to both of them, and I really liked the way both of them played. I'll have to take some time to listen to a lot of the songs and go back and check out some of the old stuff that Kelly was doing, and go through the albums and try to do something similar to the video we did with Troy. Well, all right, so that's all the time we got today. So once again, thank you very much for all of your support, guys. I really appreciate it. And, keep sending me questions. The email address is hmsukelessons@gmail.com. Keep sending them in. I'll keep answering them, guys. Aloha.